welcome you to the West Coast Conference this week. We are presented by Geico, and we come to you today on a beautiful day. That's the light rail system down here at Santa Clara. It'll be the St. Mary's Gales renewing an old rivalry with the hometown Santa Clara Broncos. Here's the way things look right now in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga still atop the heap, 13 up, 2 down. But what a huge win for BYU the other night against the Zags. USF, they've really been the surprise team of the conference. 10 up, 5 down. St. Mary's, up and down. Pepperdine, up and down. Portland, up and down. San Diego, more down than up, but can be up. That's kind of the story of the conference this whole year. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins. Once more, a pleasure to share the microphone with my partner, Jaron Collins. And Jaron, we talk about inconsistency, and that had been the case for BYU. They had a big home game against Gonzaga, and really, we overuse this phrase, but that was a must-win for them.
It was a must-win. It's been speculated that they are one of the last 4 teams to get into the NCAA tournament, and that win against Gonzaga will go a long way in bolstering their resume. And right now, they beat Texas. Texas plays against Kansas later today. If Texas goes on to beat Kansas, that'll go a long way in bolstering their resume and getting them into the NCAA tournament.
All right, let's talk about our game today. Should be a good one. Great long rivalry, St. Mary's and Santa Clara. We talk about St. Mary's. Inconsistency, once again, is the word that comes to mind. It comes to mind about every team in this conference, but got to get a little bit more consistency down low.
Well, we're talking about Brad Waldo and Bo Levesque. Both of these guys are capable of getting double-doubles. In fact, they've done that in recent games, but they've also struggled as well. Brad Waldo in particular, he's had 16 turnovers in his last 6 games. Does a good job of sealing guys, using his big frame, loves turning left shoulder. Bo Levesque, excellent offensive rebounder. Both of them have to be active in today's game. And they also have a terrific guard in Stephen Holt, who's got to carry the bulk of the scoring load for them. He's one of the top distributors in the WCC as well, in the top 5 in assists.
Yeah, even though Stephen Holt really playing out of position, he's really a 2-guard, playing the 1-guard position, but clearly the catalyst for this team, and nobody agrees with that more than his coach, Randy Bennett.
He's been good, but he's improved the whole way. From the beginning of the year till now, he's constantly improved, and it took him a little while to get back to playing the point, but he's done a great job, and that's been key to us having success this year. Is he's done a nice job of that position. So his leadership, he's been a great player in our program for 4 years, and so hopefully he'll be able to finish his career off the right way.
That's Randy Bennett on his point guard this year. We've talked about St. Mary's front court. If Santa Clara is going to be successful, they get it done in the backcourt.
Yeah, you're talking about Brandon Clark and Jared Brownridge, knockdown shooters. Jared Brownridge averages 3 3-point field goals made per game. Brandon Clark, right about 3 3-point field goals made per game. If Santa Clara wants to have any success, they have to be able to knock down those outside shots.
And it was Brownridge, of course, who won the game for St. Mary's, or rather for Santa Clara, at St. Mary's on a terrific shot. Here's a guy that has to come up big. Evan Rocamore is playing his last game here at the Levy Center. And he, too, and I hate to overuse this phrase, but I'm going to use it again, inconsistent.
Well, his coaches have praised him, actually, in terms of how his senior leadership and providing that spark off of the bench. And just put this in perspective for his career. He is ahead of both Steve Nash and John Stockton in all-time assists. Anytime you mention with those legends and Hall of Famers, that's great company.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. And here's what his coach, Kerry Keating, had to say about his senior, Evan Rocamore.
He came in a little bit unheralded. Obviously, we were able to sign him really, really late in the process. He signed with us in July after his senior year. He was contemplating whether he was either going to start his college career on time or maybe go to prep school. We were fortunate that we had a scholarship open and had a need to be filled late in the summer. And he had the academic resume to get into school late. Our school was flexible to let him in at that late a time, and he stepped into a great situation with 2 of our 5 all-time leading scorers and another 1,000-point scorer in Kevin Foster, Mark Tracy, and Ray Cowles. To play with those guys together for 3 years, and the majority of the 3 years, and even the times that Kevin and Mark suffered injuries, really benefited him greatly. He did a great job acclimating himself with those guys, and subsequently now is our all-time leading assist leader, and even a little less known, our all-time leading free throw shooter too. I think it speaks volumes to his ability as a player, and here we are now on Senior Day, hoping he can close it out the right way with a win.
All right, we're just getting started here on the West Coast Conference this week. Still a lot more to talk about. We got St. Mary's and Santa Clara. We're going to take a look all around the West Coast Conference when we come back. Geeter and Dave all geeked up, ready to go.
Welcome back to Geico WCC This Week in Los Angeles. I'm Chris McGee alongside the coach, Dave Miller. Kelly Tennant will join us in a minute, but let's get to the conference highlights from earlier this week. BYU hosting Gonzaga. Gonzaga's 13-1 in WCC play. BYU 10-5. First half, Kyle Collinsworth kicks it out to Matt Carlino. He knocks down the three.
I love it when his feet are set.
First half, Zags down 4. Gary Bell drives in, gets the finger roll.
Ring my bell.
Less than 6 seconds left in the first half. BYU down 3. Tyler Haws, you know what he's going to do. Knock down the three off of 1 foot. Ties the game at 39.
I love when he's aggressive and he comes off that pick and roll, looking to get net noise. Here he comes. Just an unorthodox, a little bit like Dirk.
Looked a little bit like Dirk. Good call right there. Second half, BYU up 4. Matt Carlino sets his feet, misses the three-pointer, but Kyle Collinsworth is there for the putback.
6'6", back from that Mormon mission. Strong, long, tough.
Second half, Zags down 5. Drew Baum knocks down the 3.
You know where to find him. He loves the corner 3 ball.
More second half. BYU now up 4. Matt Carlino with the steal, taking it coast to coast, and the finish off the glass. More BYU and more Carlino. Driving. Layup. Carlino 15 points off the bench. BYU wins 73-65. The Gales traveling to San Francisco, both holding 9-5 conference records going into this one. Early in the first, Brad Waldo find the cut, and James Walker, the third, finishes with the lay-in.
Dynamite!
Jimmy Walker. The Dons up 3 now. Matt Glover with the ball. Decides to just take it himself. Picks up the lay-in. USF up 5.
That's a strong cat. I love the way he attacks the defender's chest.
USF on the run. Avery Holmes finds Mark Tolfson. He's going to throw it down. Oh, that's worth another look, coach.
He's yelling, you got this one, Holmes? I'm on time, on target. Hey, ref, get out of the way. Mark's getting his Michael Jordan on. Stick your tongue out.
Second half, excuse me, Holmes. He hits Glover. He's going to nail a 3. Glover tied his career high with 16 points. USF up 14 and rolling. They catch the defense napping on the job. Tolfson makes them pay with the dunk. USF goes on to win 73-62. San Diego hosting Portland at the Slim Jim. Love that name. Toreros took the first meeting between the two teams back in January. Second half, San Diego 2. Men want to beat him. It's Johnny D coming off the screen, catch and shoot.
Tweedledee.
Tweedledum. Toreros up 5. Bobby Sharp would answer on the very next possession. He's going to hit a three of his own.
Just call him the sharpshooter. He loves that net noise.
Yo, yo, yo. It's our boy, Bobby Sharp again. This time, step back three. Got it.
Oh, no, he did. Between the legs, create space. Go, Bobby Boucher.
1 minute remaining, tied at 56. Zippity-doo-dah. Sanadze hits the runner along the baseline. San Diego up 2. 8 seconds left. Portland down 3. Ryan Nichols, coach, for the tie. Shot is no good.
Man, I love the screen that Sharp sets. It's a catch and shoot, but what a great contestment and an effort play. Just misses.
Toreros hang on 61-59. Coach, we called this game last time out when Pepperdine beat LMU. It's the PCH rivalry. Pepperdine taking on the Lions. And LMU's going to start out hot. Anthony Ireland, coach, loves it. Create his own shot here, hits the fadeaway.
AI looks like he's getting his Andre Miller on. He bumps him down, turnaround jumper.
Hopefully he doesn't get traded. But Pepperdine would answer with a run of their own. Jeremy Major finds Stacey Davis in the corner. He hits the three. Davis with 27, capping off a 22 Pepperdine run. Pick it up in the second half. Davis is everywhere. This time, Malty Kramer hits the three. Bench outscores LMU's bench 47-6. LMU would keep it close, though. Ireland drives in, makes the lay-in.
Dunk it, little fella. Don't let me down.
He would finish with 26. Ireland would find himself in the corner. Down 3, but look at Brendan Lane, the former UCLA star, gets the block. Pepperdine goes on to win 72-69. University of Pacific at Santa Clara. Both teams currently in the bottom half of the conference standings, but that doesn't matter. Santa Clara up 9. It's senior General John MacArthur hitting the mid-range jumper.
You got to salute him. Salute him now.
Broncos were up 10 at the break. Second half, still a 10-point game. Brandon Clark, jumper good, plus the foul.
Cardinal sin, don't foul a jump shooter.
Skip ahead, junior Yannick Atonga sealing his man inside. He's good, coach. What a great young man.
Man, that's a lost start. Seal him with your lower body. Love it.
Don't see it enough. Pacific struggled all night, shooting a dismal 32% from the field. Here's Jared Brownridge, open in the corner. 3-ball.
You better recognize.
Final score, 70-50. Broncos roll. Here's what the conference standings look like. Gonzaga after the loss at 13-2. BYU holding on to that second spot, 11-5. Right behind him. How about San Francisco at 10-5? Coach, that was a lot of highlights right there. Were you doing okay?
I'm doing great.
How about BYU and Gonzaga, the top two teams? It did not disappoint. BYU getting the win.
What a great game. I mean, at the start, both teams were trying to boost their tournament resumes. For the Zags, it was seeding. For BYU, it was for an at-large bid. It was a quality win for the Cougars, and they split the season series. They played with urgency, and they weren't going to allow the Zags to win the regular season championship on their home floor. This is a team where offense comes easy. They love to push the pace, but for them to make a good, strong push in the WCC tournament and the NCAA tournament, they can't take possessions off defensively. That's what Dave Rose has to preach.
And Coach, BYU, a tough matchup tonight against Portland. Remember, the first time they played, Portland upset them. What does BYU have to do to win this one?
Well, the BYU bigs have to come out, and they have to be aggressive. I love the chemistry that's developed between Austin and Mika. And then Collinsworth at the point at 6'6" was a brilliant move by Dave Rose. Hawes leads the league in scoring, but again, the key is going to be defending. Can they protect the rim? Are they going to have active hands, active feet, and be able to cause turnovers? This key team can't take possessions off. They've been a little Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but I like the way they're on that upward swing. This isn't Dave Rose's first rodeo. He's got this team moving in the right direction.
Coach, clap it up. We're not done yet. We're coming right back. Coming up on WCC this week, we'll have the story of St. Mary's Paul McCoy and how he has overcome injury throughout his college career. Time for your WCC Player of the Week. Cruz Pinkins from the San Francisco Dons. Pinkins dropped a career-high 26 points, going 8 for 11 from the field in a 69-63 win last Saturday versus Northern California rival Santa Clara. He's the first San Francisco Don to win Player of the Week this season. Congratulations, Cruz Pinkins. All right, let's head over to Kelly Tennant. She's the best part of the show. Kelly?
Aw, thanks, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
All right, well, St. Mary's Paul McCoy has truly been through the ringer. He suffered numerous injuries to the same leg and has learned at a very young age what it means to be heartbroken. But that didn't keep him from fighting. Here's Amanda Blackwell with a truly remarkable story of comeback.
The 2008-2009 season was a great one for Paul McCoy. The heavily recruited freshman was living up to the hype, leading his Southern Methodist University Mustangs in scoring. It was all happening as he'd hoped it would.
The future was bright. My first year, I had a great freshman year, and I was planning on going farther, playing another year, then eventually moving on to the next level. Everything seemed to be working out for me.
But then in his sophomore season, in an early February game against Southern Miss, it all came crashing down.
I was just driving to the basket. Shot clock was running down. I was at the ball, top of the key. Just drove to the basket, pro hop on the way up. Everything just felt really weird.
McCoy was diagnosed with an ACL tear in his right knee. Shortly after, he transferred to St. Mary's for a fresh start and was in a hurry to make a difference with his new team.
I kind of rushed to get back on the court. Like they were saying, in 6 to 8 months, I was back on the court to 5. I was just doing too much. I had that itch. I wanted to play. I got to play. I think I wasn't ready when I went back on the court.
In an early season practice in his first year at St. Mary's, McCoy's knee gave out once more.
The second time I was just pretty upset. I was like mad because I was just starting to play. I was on the court. I felt like I lost my mind. I didn't know who I was. I was just like sitting in my room and just like literally sat there.
There are people on our team that just started crying. He's like the hardest worker I know, and so seeing someone that had put that much hard work in to get back and get healthy, and then just see it kind of all fall apart again, there's really no other emotion than I was just like heartbroken for him.
Unbelievably, it happened third time about a year later, before he had even seen game action as a member of the Gales. This time, McCoy had 2 surgeries to fix the knee. After 4 total surgeries in just a few short years, McCoy knew he had a long road ahead. But he wasn't ready to be finished with basketball just yet.
I didn't want to blame anything else. I felt like it was going to happen. It's going to happen. So I just felt like the only thing I could do now is get back on my rehab. And I still wanted to play basketball, even though people were like, oh, you should just stop. You should not. Like, that's never an option for me.
After countless hours of physical therapy on the sideline, McCoy finally made his St. Mary's debut, and it came in his hometown of Portland in front of family and friends, almost 3 years after the last time he saw game action. A moment that made all of his hard work pay off.
That was awesome. I was so nervous. I was first game, and I didn't know what to do. All my family was there, all my friends were there from high school. So then I finally walk out, and I walk to the check-in table, and everybody stands up, starts clapping, and I go in, and it was pretty cool. It was a cool moment.
If there's anybody you want for success for, it's somebody like Paul. I have 2 young children myself. I hope one day they look up to somebody like Paul McCoy, just such an ambassador for St. Mary's College.
I mean, I just have the utmost respect for him. 99% of people, if they get those injuries twice, they're done. 3 times, everyone's done. But he's come back from all these different ACL tears and all these different injuries, and he still stays strong, and it's incredible.
It actually really humbled me in high school. All the success I've had, all honors this, honors that, state this, state that. My head is just blowing up, and finally pops in and humbled myself, grew up, matured, and now I feel like I'm a better person. And I think the injuries, I mean, it did set me back, but it actually pushed me a lot forward in life.
After playing in 14 games last year with the Gales, McCoy got some good news after season's end. He would be granted a rare 6th year of eligibility to play one last season, one that he hopes will be his first full season since that freshman year so long ago. When
I finally heard that I got the 6th year, I just sat there, I don't know what to do. I love basketball. I mean, I want to still play, and people say it's a great story, this, a great story, that, but I already just really love basketball. And I was 3, 4, 5 ACLs. I'm gonna keep going until my body says you can't go anywhere.
Which is hopefully not for a very, very long time. For the WCC This Week, I'm Amanda Blackwell.
And you can catch Paul McCoy and St. Mary's in our WCC Game of the Week versus Santa Clara right here at 1. And here's the rest of the WCC action for today. Pacific taking on San Francisco at 3. And at 9, the Zags taking on San Diego at the Slim Jim. Slim Jim. Chris, what an amazing story. I mean, so inspiring. How do you come back from 3 ACLs? It's incredible.
I can barely get out of bed, and I've never had a knee problem, so it's tough.
Well, it's tough being old.
Yeah, it's impressive. Thanks, Kelly. Excellent job. Look forward to seeing you next week. Coach, WCC Game of the Week, St. Mary's, Santa Clara. Let's focus on the Gales. What do they need to do to get ready for that WCC tourney and make a real run?
Well, right now, they've got to start closing games. When you look at this team, their record is much better than what it indicates. And they've lost a lot of bad games. But right now, their goal has to be to win the WCC tournament because I see them firmly on the bubble. They've got to close games with defense and rebounding, 2 things that Randy Bennett is very accustomed to.
Coach, Santa Clara, they're at the bottom of the conference, but they did beat St. Mary's earlier in the season. What's going to be key for them to have some success?
Well, the main thing is their bigs have to show up. When you think about this Santa Clara team, they've got guards, and they've been very productive. You think of Clark, Rockamore, and the freshman Jared Brownridge. Off the bounce, he's got a very mature game. He understands spacing off penetration. He's got deep 3-point range, and I love his footwork. He's really been well-schooled. I think he's very poised. He's extremely patient. And the one thing that he does well, he reads screens. He knows when to straight cut, he knows when to flare, and he knows when to curl. His game is that he's certainly my newcomer of the year in the WCC.
You know what I love? This show and WCC Hoops. That's it for me, Coach, and Kelly Tennant. We'll get you back to the Levy Center in Santa Clara after the break.
We welcome you back to the West Coast Conference this week. It's brought to you by Geico, and winter just bypassed us. We're right on into spring. That's downtown San Jose and a beautiful day. Let's take a look right now, Jaron. If this tournament were to start today, here would be the matchups. San Diego would play Loyola Marymount. Pacific would play Santa Clara in the play-in games. And then the next day it would be the Zags against the winner of Santa Clara and Pacific. What really strikes me about this whole thing is, and here I go with a cliche again, anybody beats anybody anytime.
You're absolutely right. Look, Portland, the only team in the conference to beat both BYU and Gonzaga. If you look at Santa Clara, they're in last place, but they've got some knockdown shooters. If they get hot from the three-point line, they might be able to make a run like LMU did last year, winning 3 games in a row in the conference tournament.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That tournament, of course, takes place at the Orleans in Las Vegas. This is my favorite part of this show. Talk about the X factors in this game we're going to be watching.
Yeah, for St. Mary's, it's got to be Walker, and for Santa Clara, it's got to be Evan Rockamore. But let's talk about James Walker. He was scoreless in the games down in Los Angeles at LMU and Pepperdine. but he had a big breakout game where he had 21 points against San Diego. So they're going to need his production and his ability to slash and create. And then for Santa Clara, Evan Rockamore, we talked about him. It's senior night. It's an emotional day for him. He has his friends and family here. He's a terrific distributor, and he's got to be that third scorer for Santa Clara in order for them to pull off this victory today.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it is senior day, and I think that is a huge thing. You talk about an emotional lift that certainly should give the Broncos that. And, oh, by the way, it is a traditional game, this game. Been going on forever, and so you know there's going to be a little bit of boost in the intensity level.
Yeah, both of these teams looking for confidence, looking for momentum heading to the WCC tournament.
All right, 4 seniors playing for Santa Clara. It's the Gales and the Broncos here at the Levy Center in Santa Clara. There's a look at Evan Rockamore, and we're going to be back to get started for Jaron Collins. I'm Barry Tompkins. That's the West Coast Conference this week, presented by Geico.